Hello, we are Study New York. This is ESL and Community College Pathways to Four-Year Universities in New York. I would like to introduce you to today's panelists. We can start with Abdul Aziz.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to learn more about Study New York Consortium, ESL programs, and all the wonderful opportunity that exist in the New York State. My name is Abdul Aziz. I'm the Assistant Director of International Admissions and Enrollment here at Queensborough Community College. We'll get the chance to talk a lot about CUNY and Queensborough throughout this presentation. Thank you again for joining us.
Hello, my name is Kathleen McCarthy. I am the acting director of the Intensive English Language Program at the University at Albany. I look forward to telling you about our English program at this great university.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carly O'Keefe from Monroe Community College, part of the SUNY system, and I'm the Assistant Director of International Student Services. Looking forward to telling you all about MCC today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jenny Weatherall. I am the International Student Service Specialist at Genesee Community College, which is also part of the SUNY system. And I look forward to talking more about GCC.
Okay, and I'm James Schaefer with Touro University in New York City, and we are Study New York. And Study New York represents the entire state of New York. You can see Niagara Falls, New York City. The picture in the center at the top with the fall leaves is the beautiful campus of University at Albany. That picture just won a photo contest of students. So Study New York believes that we are the #1 destination in the world for international students. We are one of the most diverse places where students could go. We, of course, have New York City, but we have a large state that spreads out all the way to Niagara Falls and up to the Adirondacks. We have the SUNY system, State University of New York, with 64 campuses. And we have the CUNY system, City University of New York. I believe, Abdul can correct me, I believe that's with 16 campuses. We also have private colleges and universities throughout New York State. Here are the members. You can see the many CUNYs and the many SUNYs that are members, and also the private universities such as Clarkson and Touro and Pace University. If you go to our website, you can do a search and find a university. The contact information for that university or community college will be on that listing on the Study New York website, or you can email me directly with the email that I'll give at the end of this presentation. We have a very active social media account, and here was a campaign about curricular practical training that our students were getting for their internships. We feel in the United States that we are the best place for employment, whether curricular practical training or optional practical training after graduation, because we have New York City as an anchor of the entire state, and the entire state is connected by train or bus or plane to New York City very easily. That photo in the upper right is from a covered bridge in the Adirondack Mountains. So it is a fantastic state with beautiful beaches on Long Island, great skiing, Niagara Falls, of course, the Finger Lakes with wine country. So it's a very diverse state. And Study New York is very active. We just met lots of Education USA officials and REACs at the annual NAFSA conference in Orlando. Bottom left corner is Study New York at the US Consulate General of India in New York City. And we had 10 Education USA advisors visit Study New York in Times Square in July of 2025. They were from Macedonia, Ghana, Zimbabwe, I believe Germany, and Ecuador. So we were pleased to have the Education USA advisors visit Study New York in New York City. And if you are coming through New York City, please reach out to us and we'll arrange a visit. And you can see how the state of New York has New York City, and then most of the other major cities run along the spine west to east. We are the only state in the United States where all the major cities are connected by train line, except for Binghamton, but that's just a quick 3-hour bus ride to New York City. Even if you're up in the Adirondacks, you just catch a bus to Plattsburgh or Syracuse, and you're on the Amtrak train line to New York City. So easy to get around if you're in New York State. These are the schools presenting today. So as you can see, even the schools in Buffalo, their students are getting OPT and CPT in New York City. A lot of the schools in Buffalo, or you see the Rochester area with Genesee Community College and Monroe Community College, they can easily get anywhere in the state for their OPT or CPT employment. And why we're saying New York is number one, a few years ago, we passed San Francisco and Silicon Valley as the place with the highest average digital tech salaries in the United States. So if you go to Robert Half on the internet and see average salaries for the US, New York tech salaries are 36% higher. I will now turn it over to Kathleen for University at Albany Intensive English Language Program.
Thank you. My name is Kathleen McCarthy from the Intensive English Language Program at University at Albany, a Research One university in the State University of New York system. Since 1978, IELP has been preparing international students for academic success in the United States. We offer 8-week and 4-week sessions, so students can come and join our program at one of 10 different start times during the year, making this very convenient for students with different schedules in different countries. We have small classes with highly qualified teachers. Teachers are very invested in the success of our students and give lots of individual attention. During the past year, students have come from 20 different countries to join our English language program. We have 5 levels from pre-intermediate to advanced, so students can get the English at their level. Studying in the classroom is intensive and very important for success, but we believe that using the English language outside the classroom is also very important. We offer a weekly conversation club. We match our students with conversation partners and have weekly activities so that students are using that language outside of the classroom, reinforcing what they have learned. Our students are fully part of the University at Albany. Degree-seeking students work with our IELP students and go to activities, sporting events. We have field trips to New York City and Boston. We encourage our students to join all the different clubs and student organizations. Past students have joined the band, the chorus, a gaming club, a hiking club. We want our students to really integrate into university life so that they are ready when they finish their language studies to begin as a degree-seeking student. We also offer sustainability field trips so that students can learn about volunteer opportunities that other University at Albany students may also be participating in. And of course, we love to take our students to our university's basketball games, football games, lacrosse games. We not only take them to see our teams compete, we also arrange for students to have fun playing these sports events with UAlbany team members. University at Albany offers conditional admission for students who are academically qualified but need more training in English. This means that students do not have to take the TOEFL or the IELTS. Instead, they can complete our IELP language program and then enter an undergraduate or graduate program. Students with 61 TOEFL or 5.5 IELTS will automatically be placed in our Advanced 1 level. This means that they can complete the language program in one semester and then begin their undergraduate or graduate studies. Some students may choose concurrent enrollment. This means taking some IELP courses, but also taking one or two UAlbany credit-bearing courses. This allows students to take one university course while still being supported by the English language teachers. Recently, our students have taken courses in psychology, economics, math, engineering, and music. This is a good way to start earning credit towards a degree while still improving your English skills. Students who successfully complete the IELP program are ready for their academic studies. They could be a freshman at University at Albany, or they could be a transfer student entering as a sophomore. Students may also enter as graduate students. So many degree options are possible. Recently, students have studied business, economics, environmental engineering, public health, nanotechnology, and many more. There are so many options at University at Albany, and our IELP students are ready. They are prepared. They have learned to write essays, to give presentations, to do poster presentations. They have studied academic vocabulary and improved their listening skills to be ready to listen to those lectures. IELP students who go on to the University at Albany are more successful even than students who directly enter the university. We have had students complete law degrees, master's degrees, PhD. We've even had students go on to Columbia University for their PhD and achieve success. We are very proud of the way that we prepare students to succeed academically and also to feel very comfortable at an American university. Albany is the capital of New York State. It's one of the best places to live in the country. It's an epicenter for government, politics, technology, healthcare, and education. Our location makes it easy for students to visit New York City, Boston, Montreal, and Philadelphia. Albany is the perfect place to live and learn. We hope to welcome you in the future to the Intensive English Language Program at University at Albany. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Carly O'Keefe. I'm the Assistant Director of International Services at Monroe Community College. MCC is located in Rochester, New York, and it's one of approximately 60 campuses in the SUNY State University of New York system. In that system, about half of the campuses are community colleges. So you'll learn about two of those today. We're one of the larger community colleges in the SUNY system. Right now, we have about 8,600 students, but we have a lot of programs, around over 100 degree and certificate programs, and over 40 transfer agreements for students that want to move on to study at four-year universities like SUNY Albany after completing their degree at MCC. I wanted to give a little overview about what community colleges are and how they fit into our U.S. higher education system, because many students are not familiar with what community colleges are. They are a pretty unique part of the education system, unique to the United States. So community colleges fit in right after completing a high school diploma. It's an option for students to go to a community college and complete a 2-year associate's degree after high school prior to moving on to their bachelor's degree. Um, Rather than going directly into a bachelor's degree, they could come to community college first and work on their English language skills and other academic skills to build up their ability to be more successful at a 4-year university. And of course, they can move on to higher degree levels after their bachelor's if that is something they're hoping to do in the future. There are a lot of different benefits to attending a community college prior to attending a 4-year university. The main three are that community colleges are very affordable. They typically have a much lower tuition cost than 4-year universities, both public and private. For example, MCC is about $26,000 per year all in. That's including tuition, fees, on-campus housing, health insurance, books, and supplies. By comparison, attending even a public 4-year school in the SUNY system, like the University at Buffalo, is going to cost an international student around $57,000 a year. And then to attend a private university, it might, like RIT or the University of Rochester, that's going to cost about $80,000 a year now, all in. So attending a community college first is going to dramatically cut down that cost overall of a 4-year degree. Community colleges are also extremely accessible. They have open admission, which means that typically all you need is a high school diploma in order to attend. It doesn't matter what your grades were. It doesn't matter if you had some years where things were a little bit tough for you. You don't need SAT scores or ACT scores or letters of recommendation typically. So it's pretty open. So for a student who may have, dreams and goals of getting a bachelor's degree, but might have difficulty getting into a 4-year university directly, starting at a community college, working on those skills, building their transcript and showing that they can be successful in the higher education system is going to give them a more open door to later move on to a 4-year institution. Community colleges are also accredited. They have the same accreditations as our 4-year partner institutions. So credits are going to transfer smoothly from most community colleges to 4-year institutions, especially within the same system. So like if it's a SUNY community college transferring to a 4-year institution in SUNY, or a CUNY community college transferring to a 4-year institution within the CUNY system. Community colleges are everywhere in the United States that people are. So you can see here by this map, there's over 1,000 community colleges scattered all across the United States. So before we go into, I also just wanted to once again mention that community colleges are a great alternative pathway to the U.S. bachelor's degree. So typically we'll see a student go from high school to directly to a 4-year university and get that bachelor's degree. The community college offers this 2+2 model. So to go from high school to an ESL program if needed, like that IELP at University at Albany, then 2 years at a community college, then on to 2 years at a university to achieve that same bachelor's degree. All right, so I'm going to get into a little bit more detail now about Monroe Community College in particular. But most community colleges, well, they have a focus on teaching and learning. So students really have an opportunity to build their English and math skills. They're being taught by faculty with advanced degrees. All of our faculty, our full-time faculty or tenured faculty, do have master's or PhD degrees, but because they're not required to do research and service like they are at universities, their focus is 100% on teaching students, and it's truly something that they love to do. So all our classes are taught by faculty only. They're not taught by teaching assistants or TAs like they may at a large university. We have small class sizes. You're not going to have students in giant lecture halls with hundreds of students learning Calculus 1. They're usually in class sizes no larger than about 30 students, which is wonderful, especially when they're building those English and math skills up. And community colleges really focus on supporting student success, both from an academic and a social standpoint. Not all community colleges have on-campus housing, but MCC does. We have on-campus housing and we have it available year-round as well. So for international students in particular that can't go home over breaks or summers, they have that ability to have 12-month housing. We offer very extensive free tutoring. We have many different clubs and organizations and student government. So especially for residential students and international students that want to get very involved into the fabric of the college, it's not just a commuter school. They can very much take advantage of many of those same opportunities that they would at a four-year institution. And then also different social supports. So, you know, just like at four-year schools, many community colleges have health services and mental health counseling services right on campus. But also we focus in on things like food insecurity. And I know international students even run into financial situations where they need those different social safety nets. So we offer programs like free breakfast for every student during the week. And we have also a very expansive food pantry for every student, not just residential students, to be able to access those staple pantry items and toiletries if they're having difficulty affording them on their own. There's two different types of degree programs offered at most community colleges. The first is an Associate of Arts or Sciences, so AA or AS, and those are programs that are where the curriculum is built and designed for transfer to universities. So students that are in those programs are typically intending on transferring on and getting a bachelor's after completing their associates. So at MCC, popular AA or AS programs that we have are things like business and accounting, health studies, computer science, IT, engineering, sport management, and also a very common one is liberal arts. That's a very flexible program that allows students to complete their general education requirements as well as some introductory courses in their intended degree program. A lot of our students that need ESL when they first start off will do a liberal arts program because it's going to give them the most flexibility for transfer in the future. We also have programs at community colleges that are intended for direct entry into the workplace. So those are our Associate of Applied Arts or Applied Science type of programs. And usually those are more like hands-on, skill-based type of programs. Just because they're designed for direct entry into the workplace doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the credits can't transfer to a four-year university. It's just that the curriculum is designed more for direct entry into workplace. So a lot of our allied health programs are those applied programs, so our nursing and dental hygiene, radiologic technology, but also programs like optics, hospitality or culinary, HVAC, automotive programs, graphic design, and also some of our different computer programs like computer systems technology or networking technology. So in terms of eligibility and admission, as I mentioned, MCC has an open admissions policy, and that's true of most community colleges. So that means no SAT or ACT required, no essays or recommendations are required. Typically, we just need to see a proof of high school completion or a GED. Some schools also will allow students to enroll even if they haven't completed high school or a GED, and they could have an opportunity to complete a New York State high school equivalency diploma en route to their associate's degree. So not all schools have that option, but there are some schools that do have that as an opportunity for students who may not have finished a high school diploma or GED in their home country. MCC does not have an intensive English program or conditional admission options, so we do require English proficiency from our international student applicants, but our English proficiency requirements are significantly lower than most four-year schools because we do have a cushion of ESL classes that are offered to students to help them build their English skills before they move on to college English. So we accept TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo, and you can see our minimum requirements there. We also have a test called AccuPlacer ESL that students can take on our campus as a test of English proficiency, and we also use it for placement for students who test on their TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo lower than the threshold that we require for direct entry into English 101. So as I mentioned, depending on English proficiency or placement, students could be placed directly into English 101 or into ESL. Our ESL courses are credit bearing, so they count toward our associate's degrees, which is, I think, also a pretty unique thing. A lot of ESL classes are not credit bearing at many schools. So ours do count toward the associate's degree at our school. Typically, those ESL classes aren't going to transfer toward a four-year university, but if a student wants to count them toward their associate's degree, they absolutely can. Our ESL courses are taken alongside academic courses for the student's program, and they're usually only needed for 1 to 2 semesters. So if a student is on our lower end, they may take between 4 to 7 credits of ESL in their first semester, and then the other half of their credits they're toward their academic program, and then they might take 4 credits of ESL in their second semester, and then after that they'd be all done with ESL and ready to go directly into English 101 college composition. Our ESL classes are comprised of both local immigrant students and F1 international students. The majority of students in our ESL classes actually are local immigrant students, because that is a larger population of students that we have at our campus. So it's every class is very diverse, made up of students from many different countries, ages, and backgrounds. And I think that prepares students well for the future. So some common transfer universities for Monroe Community College students, you may have heard of some of these. Some of them are in the SUNY system, like the University at Buffalo or SUNY Brockport. Those are 2 schools that are both within about an hour distance of our campus. They're very common transfer schools for us, but we have students transfer to four-year schools all over SUNY. It's also very common for students to transfer to some other private universities right in the Rochester area. We have 2 extremely well-known, highly selective universities right in the Rochester area that offer bachelor's through PhD programs. So the University of Rochester and the Rochester Institute of Technology, or RIT, are 2 very common schools that our international students have that they're really looking forward to getting to in the future. We also have students go to St. John Fisher University and other selective four-year schools like Cornell. In this picture here, we have Judy from Madagascar and Nicole from Myanmar. And Nicole is currently at the University of Buffalo studying business, and Judy is going to Brockport in the fall to study marketing and public relations, and he just finished a year of OPT. We have a wonderful Office of Career and Transfer Services at MCC that they maintain 2+2 agreements with over 40 different public and private universities. Many of them are in New York State, but we also have them in other locations across the United States. So students have a lot of options, and they can start their planning for their transfer right from the beginning to make sure that they're taking the right classes to make their transfer go as smoothly as possible. So just a little bit about our international student population at MCC. We currently have around 120 international students on F1 visas, but we also have over 500 immigrant and refugee students on our campus, making for an extremely diverse student population. For our F1 visa students, we have over 30 countries represented across 6 different continents, and our Current top international student populations are from Vietnam, Myanmar, Japan, and then Canada. We have quite a few Canadian students on our men's baseball team. That tips the scales a little bit. Speaking of, we also have many international students, not only on our baseball team, but on our men's and women's soccer teams, and sometimes on our basketball teams. So we're very proud of our international student athletes and how they contribute as student leaders to our campus. And before I finish, I just wanted to highlight an example of an outstanding international student. So this is Margherita Rizzuti from Italy. She just finished her associate's degree in liberal arts this May, and she was an extremely involved student. So just because a student is at a community college doesn't mean they can't get extremely involved in leadership opportunities and very involved in the fabric of our campus. So Margarita, she was our vice president of our Student Government Association. She was a peer navigator in our admissions office, giving campus tours multiple times a week. She was also a student ambassador in our student life office, working in their office to ensure students understood their access to different resources across campus and um, learned about different leadership opportunities that our campus offers. She also took part as a delegate in our Model United Nations program, was a member of our Phi Theta Kappa Community College Honor Society, and also served on our SUNY Student Assembly and was a SUNY Chancellor's Award winner for Student Excellence this year. We're super, super proud of her. She is up next attending RIT in the fall for a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice with a focus in emerging technology, security, and policy. And her story is not unique. Our international students are some of the most involved students on our campus, and we're very proud of all they accomplish. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Just to introduce myself again, I'm Jenny Weatherall. I'm an international student specialist at Genesee Community College, another local community college in Western New York. We're probably about 30 minutes away from Carly's at MCC. So as you can see where we're located, we are about halfway between the major cities of Buffalo and Rochester in Western New York. So while Batavia itself is a smaller city, our students have access to larger cities right next door. We have a Greyhound bus system, so students can easily travel throughout Western New York. We are about 45 minutes away from Niagara Falls, so wonderful place to see, sightseeing. We are about 2.5 hours from Toronto, Canada. So a lot of our students, when they have those breaks, they love to either travel up to Toronto or they will hop on a plane and fly down to New York City. Like Jim was saying earlier, New York State is very diverse, but it's also very accessible. Students can easily travel throughout the state. At Genesee Community College, we have over 60 different degree programs, and these are some of the areas in which we do offer degrees. As you can see there, these are just the general categories, like within our business and commerce degree programs. We have, of course, business administration, but then we also have things like accounting, entrepreneurship, as well as some more unique majors to community colleges like fashion business and fashion design programs, as well as tourism and hospitality management. Also very popular is our liberal arts program, as Carly was talking about, because that's a very open program where students can pick and choose and really learn what they want to learn within that program. Within our computer majors, we offer both majors in focusing on software, so anything about programming, as well as hardware, computer repair, fixing all the components of a computer, as well as cybersecurity. Also very popular are our healthcare programs. While our healthcare programs do require a few extra prerequisites, a few extra steps to get into the program, they are open to all international students, are popular being nursing. Our students do get a nursing associate's degree. They can sit for the NCLEX exam and do OPT as registered nurses. One thing that we're very proud of is that our pass rate on the NCLEX exam is 98.8%, which is both higher than the nationwide pass rate as well as the New York State pass rate. As we are talking about today, and as Carly so eloquently mentioned, community colleges are a pathway to the four-year degree program. Students start at a community college, they take 2 years here, get an associate's degree, and then they can transfer on. On here, you can see some of our different pathway programs. We have over 200 different transfer agreements with both SUNY colleges, so part of the State University of New York, as well as private colleges throughout the state. One such example, as I mentioned, nursing. We have a 1+2+1 transfer program for our nursing students. So they start their first year at Damon, then they come to GCC for 2 years, then they go back to Damon for their fourth year. And in the end, they have both their associates and their BSN in nursing, as well as sit for the NCLEX exam. Some other notable ones is we have pharmacy early insurance agreement programs with both St. John Fisher and the University of Buffalo, so both a SUNY school as well as a private school. Really here, these are just a few examples of all the different transfer agreements and articulation pathways that we have throughout the state. Another big one for us is because we do have that fashion program. A lot of our students, after attending GCC, they want to study in New York City, one of the fashion capitals of the world. And so we have a transfer agreement program with LIM, which is a fashion school down in New York City. Also, FIT, that's a SUNY school. So there is some seamless transfer between GCC and FIT because we're all part of the SUNY system. So these are really just a few samples of all the different transfer agreements that we have throughout New York State. I'd like to reiterate the fact that part of an advantage of a community college, besides the fact that we have all those transfer agreements, we have that opportunity for students to get an associate's degree as well getting a bachelor's degree, is it's very cost effective. As you can see at Genesee Community College, our estimated total for 1 year is just under $17,000. And that includes everything. That includes tuition, housing, food, transportation, books, anything else. What's really great, if we're talking about books at Genesee Community College, is that we are part of the Book Smart program. Within this program, a student is just paying around $25 per credit hour for all their books, no matter what the books actually cost. So if you have a science book that actually costs $700, you're not paying that. If it's a 3-credit-hour science class, you're paying $75 for that book. So it really makes things a little bit more affordable. And looking at that price of $16,990 for one academic year, you're getting all your English classes, your liberal arts electives, all those things that you would need at a 4-year school and you would need to transfer. You're getting all that credit at a price that's a third of the cost, a fourth of the cost, a fifth of the cost, depending on whether you're going to a public 4-year school or a private 4-year school. So it's really a cost advantage. The other thing I'd like to mention, at Genesee Community College, we do not charge double tuition for international students. International students pay the same rate as our out-of-state students, which is only $300 more than the in-state tuition rate. We do offer some scholarships as well that helps to bring the costs down, as well as our students get very involved in campus, kind of like how Carly mentioned. Our international students become student workers working at different departments. We have them in the admissions office. They're part of our athletics, computer services. We have a daycare on the campus. A lot of our international students love working with the kids there. Our students can also become resident advisors. So we do have on-campus housing at Genesee Community College, and international students who become resident advisors actually get room and board for free. So that second total that you see there, that $9,000, that gets cut out. So the students are even paying less. Speaking with English proficiency requirements, as Carly mentioned, Genesee Community College is also open enrollment. We just need to see proof of high school graduation, whether that is through a diploma or a GED. We accept both. We just need to see that there was completion of high school. For our English language proficiency requirements, we are a little bit lower, and we're definitely lower than all four-year schools. You can see there are TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo scores that we require for admission. We also do accept Pearson Academic, ESL language training scores, as well as if a student does complete an intensive English program at an accredited U.S. school like Albany, then they wouldn't need to have TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo. We would just need to see proof that they completed that program, and that would count for their English proficiency requirements for admission purposes. Similar to MCC, we offer ESL instruction while completing their coursework in the degree. So a student is accepted right into the degree or program that they intend to complete, whether it's business, cybersecurity, sports management, or fashion. And so they will take those ESL classes to work on their English and their speaking skills while still taking classes in their major so that they're going to progress to that two-year degree on time. The last thing I would like to mention, I don't have a picture of her. I didn't get one up here, but one of our wonderful success stories. We have a student from Japan, Hina Nakatani, who just graduated this year. She was one of the most involved students, and that's the case for our international students as well. She graduated with 2 degrees with a 4.0 average, while also still being in our GCC's dance team. She was a club officer for the International Student Organization. She is part of Phi Theta Kappa and NSLS Honor Society. She was an RA. She worked on campus, and she was a SUNY Chancellor Award winner. So our international students really do get involved. And her next steps is she got approved for OPT. And kind of again, like Jim mentioned, she's heading down to New York City, part of New York State. She was a theater major, so she's looking to try to do some auditions down there and work in theater on her OPT. At Genesee Community College, our international students, no matter what they decide to do next, whether it's OPT, transfer, return home, we are always there to support them and help them get through and achieve their goals. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for tuning in again to learn more about the SUNY State New York Study New York Consortium. I hope you enjoyed learning about the SUNY system, part of the Study New York Consortium. I will tell you briefly about City University of New York, also stands for CUNY. CUNY is nation's largest urban public university system. It's probably one of the oldest as well, started in 1847. 26 campuses across the 5 boroughs, consisted of 11 senior campuses that awards bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhDs, 7 community colleges, and 8 graduate professional schools as well. Altogether, we're serving roughly 275,000 students and over 50,000 degrees awarded to students. Wonderful place. Queensborough Community College, where I work at, is located in Queens, New York. Queens, New York is the largest borough of New York City. It is widely regarded as the world's borough due to its extraordinary cultural diversity and vibrant art scenes. With over 2.3 million residents, is home to communities from all across the world, such as Asia, Latin America, Europe, and the Caribbean, all together creating a living mosaic of tradition, language, and cuisine. Really good place to coexist. It's really a melting pot. And I love working at Queens. So hopefully you'll also have the opportunity to explore New York City, New York State, and Queens specifically in the future. So again, as far as pathways, my colleagues throughout this presentation from Albany to GCC, MCC, they've all talked about wonderful pathways that you can start off with the ESL program, go on to community college, finish up your associates, get an opportunity to qualify for an OPT, and then move over to your fourth year, do your third year, fourth year at a bachelor campus such as Albany, such as Touro, or many more. You could then continue on your master's, doctoral, PhD. Opportunities are endless, and all of this can be done in one system, which is CUNY altogether. So again, we've talked a lot about community college. I'm not going to spend too much time, but I do want to just let you know community colleges are a wonderful opportunity for you to start off your degree, associates, bachelor's, and continue to your bachelor's. In New York City, community college help keep tuition far lower than the private options. And as my colleagues have mentioned, excellent 2+2 program pathways exist for our students here with guaranteed admissions. Just to break some stigma that community colleges are a bad option, or not a good option, right? In the USA, 9 million students have attended community college over the last couple of years. So that just shows data-wise that this is an attractive option. It's a great opportunity for students to save some money during the first 2 year, use the money that they've saved and add it to the third year, fourth year, and ultimately have a experience of being able to get an associate's, bachelor's, while being able to save some money for you and your parents. So we do have a wonderful language program here at QCC known as POE. Next. POE also stands for Port of Entry. It's an wonderful entry point. It's a unique intensive English development program, which is designed to provide international students and new immigrants with language skills, knowledge, experience, and everything that they need to succeed in higher education and professional careers in the USA. Our students can start off at POE, do the program, and then move on to degree seeking program, or they can just do the POE program, learn English, and then go into the workforce as well. I'm going to highlight some quick facts. So it is going to be intensive 4 days per week, Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. over roughly 594 hours of instructions throughout the whole year. Six level of instructions are available for students that focus on specific language development needs. And again, you can start off as a true beginner and all the way to advanced, and you'll be put in a specific group, so you're not learning with everybody, right? Based on your level, you will be you'll be learning in that level with a group of students. Seamless admissions into the degree programs and certificate programs at QCC. Both teams work together. We are also able to issue an I-20 for our POE program as well. And then on-demand advisement, F1 student visa support through a dedicated team here in our office, but we also have another team that also is dedicated to helping POE and English learners to navigate through the I-20 purposes. As far as tuition, it's roughly for F1 students 2245, so $2,245. And then for the full year special price is $5,200. And we do have some special rate. If you're able to pay it earlier, then you are able to qualify for some tuition discounts. You don't have to be an F1 student to join our ESL program. As a non F1 students, you'll pay roughly 2,000, to be exact, 1,995 or 4,600 for the full year, right? Do get in touch with us so we can give you more information. Just want to highlight other things is that all the classes will be in person, so you are expected to be in class, learn from the best, and engage in the classroom. Um, we also have POE classes during the summer as well. So wonderful entry point, as all of us are continuing to mention, is that you don't feel confident in your skill language. You can do this program, get freshen it up, clean it up, and then you go into the degree seeking where you're not failing English 101, right? So you're not hindered on being able to take your psychologies, your sociologies, and your dances, for example, right? So it just makes you to be more successful on campus. I've covered some of this in the previous slides, but conditional acceptance for English language learners are given at QCC. You don't have to have the TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo score to qualify for the conditional acceptance. Then you will complete the POE program and you'll be able to use that score for general admissions at QCC or at any of the CUNY campuses. 1 to 2 semester of English language training, and port of entry students are eligible for I-20s. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what life looks like after finishing up the POE program at QCC. Especially students can pursue a few different degrees such as Associates of Arts, Associates of Science, and ultimately completing those to transfer to a 4-year campus such as Touro, Albany, NYU, Columbia, St. John's, Pratt. Our students are able to pretty much go anywhere because we are accredited. All the credits transfer over with them. High demand fields such as business, liberal arts, computer science, nursing, allied health, early childhood education, criminal justice, engineering, and mathematics are very popular here at QCC. Certificates and workshops also exist. Short-term certificate programs, often under 1 year. Obviously, the ESL and adult education, and then employer partnership that provide hands-on experience and with clear career routes. At QCC, we have a lot of great things going on for us. So over 45 plus academic programs, and the prototype programs are on the right side of the page, such as health sciences, business admin, mathematics, psychology, accounting, computer engineering, engineering science, computer info system, cybersecurity, music production, liberal arts, AI, and many more. If you do not see one of your major in there, feel free to get in touch with us, and I'm more than happy to share additional information. Over 10 2+2 partnerships with CUNY senior colleges, meaning you'll do the first 2 years with us, you'll have the guaranteed admissions to be able to move on to those 10 programs. Apart from that, we also have excellent articulation with SUNY campuses, private campuses, all and research opportunities in all STEM and social science programs are available. Another stigma I just want to break is that just because community colleges tuition are low does not mean that we're hiring just regular professors or just anybody to teach our students, right? Over 70% of our faculty members hold doctoral or terminal degrees. So we're looking to hire some of the best in the industry, in education in New York City to teach and lead you guys to be successful. Great student life and organization, over 40 clubs and organization, excellent Division III athletic teams. Another entry point into getting into colleges through athletics as well, right? So if you are someone that plays excellent sports, but don't know necessarily if you're good for Division I, start off at Division III, do well, perform well, share your highlights, game reels, and then hopefully you'll be able to qualify for a scholarship. Hopefully your dreams of graduating from Duke, Yale, Kentucky can still be possible, right? We're one of the few schools in East Coast that have a 3D labs for engineering students. So our students are able to just walk in, use the lab, but again, obviously with department's consent and availabilities, right? The more earlier you communicate, reserve it, the easier it is for you to use it. Despite the fact that we are a small campus, our student body is over 10,000 students, serving over 410 international students. Top countries are Bangladesh, India, China, Pakistan, Myanmar, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, Brazil, Colombia, Turkey, Egypt, and many more. Very diverse place, and we hope you can also experience it one day as well. As far as after they finish the 2 years with us, pathways to other colleges exist, such as CUNY colleges, Cornell University, Binghamton University, NYU, FIT, Stony Brook, St. John's, and others. Me and Jim, we're currently in conversations to create a pathway where students would be able to finish up the first 2 years with us and then complete their last 2 years at Touro University. And again, same thing goes for Albany. We're also always willing to explore options. So again, if you're someone that want to start here, go to New York State, or vice versa, go to New York State, come to New York City. New York State, study in New York is a wonderful opportunity for mobility all across the state. So housing wise, for majority of the CUNY campuses, we are commuter school, so we don't have campus dorming. However, our campus Queens College, which is only 10 minutes away from us, have dorming. So our students are able to reserve dorms and stay get the dorming experience as well. It's just very expensive. Majority of our students are able to find dorms or housing as a rental apartments and are able to save tons of money while doing that. But this dorming experience exists for students as well. The process of applying to QCC is very simple. You'll use the online application portal through the CUNY website, and one application you'll be able to apply to up to 6 schools. And same thing goes for SUNY to an extent as well, right? One application can have you apply to multiple campuses. As a transfer student, you can only put 4 colleges on your application. As a freshman, 6 college on your application. The process is fairly simple. We're looking for your high school transcript, secondary transcript, intermediate or pre-university transcript. If you're someone that attended university, you'll be considered a transfer student, so you'll get to apply to one application, 4 schools. In addition to your high school documents, will also require course-by-course evaluation of your university transcript to indicate how many credits, if any, can be transferred over. But the process is fairly simple. Our TOEFL requirement for general admission is 53, ISO 5.5, Duolingo of 80. We do not require the SAT score or the ACT score. The application fee is $65, 6 schools for freshmen, or $70, 4 schools on the application as a transfer student. We're not going to go into this slide, but we do have we just recently launched our virtual campus tour. So if you have the chance, do take a tour of our campus. Wonderful community, wonderful campus, over 37 acres of land. So again, beautiful place, great atmosphere. I encourage you to take a look at it. Education in the US is very expensive, and especially like a city like New York City. So I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say, hey, it's going to be seamless. When it comes to financial part, unfortunately, we will have to have those conversations, but still a very good advantage point to start off. Our tuition per year is only $8,088.60 per year. You're very smart, so you'll probably do your research and look into like NYU, Columbia's, Touro, St. John's, even Brooklyn or Hunter or Baruch College, and you'll be able to see the tuition difference. In any given cases, our students are able to save anywhere $30,000 to $40,000 over 2 years of experience, which they can use towards their tuition at a 4-year journey. In the bottom, you'll see for an I-20, we're looking for a successful statement of $44,000. But a lot of this is indirect. So your direct costs are $8,088, which is your tuition. Everything else is indirect. I always say, listen, New York City is great public transportation 24 hours. If you're someone that's willing to take the public transportation throughout the city, you'll be able to use only 275. But if you're someone that wants to take Uber and commute through the city in Texas and things like that, you'll spend more than that. For books and supplies, we have over, as I've said, 20 campuses, which allows you to borrow books from all those campuses. So if you're someone that's willing to research, do your due diligence, go to the libraries, you'll also be able to save money. Personal expenses, I always say too, I'm using iPhone 11 still, right? So if you're someone that's willing to sacrifice and that's willing to use the earlier technologies, not willing to buy iPhone 24 or whichever one that comes out next, or the new MacBook or the new game system, right? You'll be able to save tons of money. Housing, unfortunately, is expensive even for me. I cannot decrease that, but student finding off-campus housing, maybe a little bit farther down the campus, can still save a lot of money. All in all, even though we're asking for a tuition of, a statement of $44,000, students are able to save tons of money over the years so that they can apply that change towards their 30 and 4th year journey. And just for comparison, this changes from campus to campus. This is going to be different for Monroe, Albany, even Touro, NYU, and Columbia are same as well. On the right side of the page, you'll see a little map into like what our tuition. 2 years, roughly $15,320 just in tuition itself. What do you get out of it is that an extra year of OPT, and then transfer to a 3rd year and 4th year, and then get another year of OPT. So starting off a community college journey can get you up to 6 years of stay and 2 OPT potential opportunities. On the left side of the page, you'll see if you start off at a 4-year college, this is an example for our 4-year CUNY campus, where you'll graduate and you'll get 1 year of OPT, while your tuition is probably double than a community college, right? So again, just for data, just for you to look at it and compare and contrast, you're able to easily save $15,000 per year at CUNY if you continue to do your journey. $60,000 over 4 years in tuition at a 4-year CUNY campus is also very, very good deal. And I'm sure you'll do your research and you'll find out the tuitions at NYU and Columbia are significantly higher. And nothing against NYU and Columbia, because a lot of our students also go out there after they finish the 2 years, right? So again, mobility-wise, save some money first 2 years, spend the money, whether you're going to NYU, Columbia, Yale, Harvard, right? You could go anywhere you choose to. Just want to highlight some student activities that's going on campus, and something that we're very proud of. I always say education is just not about books, exams, classrooms, and professor engagement. It's the activities, it's the culture, the communities that you build. At QCC, we've been fortunate enough to build a community of international students. And last year, we hosted our first ever annual Thanksgiving dinner for our international students, where they got the chance to try turkey for the first time in their life, right? So wonderful opportunity for us to meet the students, hear their stories. And again, as you know, as international students, you're not always able to go home when you want to. So being able to give you guys a space, a safe space, a welcoming space is something that we take pride in. I host tons of events throughout the semester. This is from last year's tea hour, where we invite students just to come drink some tea, get some snacks, just chat, meet peer students from your country, outside of your country. But yeah, in general, just a place to chat. Nothing about grades, nothing about school, just about you, how we can help your experience be better here. I also had the privilege of going to my first ever hockey game as well. New York Islanders versus a Canadian team. It looks like we won that day. It was also our students, international students' first ever hockey game too. So I love giving them exposure to culture, activities, and events, which enhances their overall experiences. I like to say this is like college is like a memory box. You don't just walk away with a degree, you walk away with lifelong of friends and memories. So it's very important for us that we give you guys experience that you can remember for lifelong. This is actually one of my most favorite events is that our president invites our international students to her house to cook a meal with her, eat with her, and then share their story, success. This is a wonderful way for the president to be involved and know about the international students. I've worked in education for almost 8 years, and I've not seen a president that's more as involved, as engaged with international students. We don't clean, so which is the fun part about me going there is that I just eat, I talk to students, and I get out of there. But again, looking forward to doing more events for our international students, and hopefully, you can also be one of the students that takes advantage of a journey like this. That's all from QCC. If you have more questions or concerns, we'll share our contact info at the end of the presentation. And look forward to welcome you to New York State, New York City, in the future.
Thank you, Abdul. I will be 2 minutes. If you have questions, please type them in the Q&A. I'll be 2 minutes, and then we'll ask your questions out loud and give some answers. Touro University is in Times Square, New York City. So there are many four-year universities in New York State and throughout the United States, as you heard. They have articulation agreements with community colleges, or perhaps they don't even have articulation agreements. Most of these four-year universities are going to accept the associate's degree and transfer in the student, usually with the full 60 credits from the associate's degree. Perhaps there were a couple of ESL courses at the start that may not transfer in. Maybe they transfer in only 54 or 57 credits, but it's usually pretty close to a full 60 credit transfer. Touro is a great option, again, for the students who want return on investment. We are a top 150 national university in the United States, yet our tuition is very affordable for the bachelor's degrees. So in the first year that you study with Touro, you get a 15% scholarship, bringing it down to a little less than $15,000. And in your second year, which would be your senior year, if you started at a community college, you're getting a 30% scholarship, which brings it down to closer to $12,800 annual tuition. The BS in biology is STEM, and the BS in cybersecurity and network administration is also a STEM program. So we highly recommend those two programs. And you can see our campus right there. We have 11 floors of that building in Times Square. And the building to the left of us is actually the New Year's Eve building, where the ball drops from one Times Square on New Year's Eve. And here is our student who went to Nassau Community College, and then she transferred on over to Touro University, and she entered the Study in New York annual photo contest. and finished a close second to a student from Stony Brook with this photo. So we're very proud of our students who start at community colleges and then finish their bachelor's degrees at Touro. In fact, I can say there was a student who did radiologic tech at a community college. That student had actually had her bachelor's degree back from her home country. She just wanted to be an X-ray tech. So she did the associates at a community college in radiologic tech, did her 1 year of OPT. And then because she already had a bachelor's, she decided she wanted to be managing radiologic tech centers. And she came to Touro then as an MBA student because she had her bachelor's degree. So there's a lot of options when you do your community college to do some very creative things, even if you have a bachelor's back in your home country. Let's get to some questions. Again, Touro University is also New York Medical College, which is 1 hour north. So we're graduating medical doctors and biomedical sciences and public health postgraduate degrees, and also Dental College of Medicine. But let's get to some questions that I will ask. Again, Study New York travels all over the world. This is Dr. Rima Ranha and me when we were in India. We presented a Study New York presentation in Bangladesh. We presented a Study New York presentation at the USEF Education USA office in Kathmandu, Nepal. So if you want Study New York to do a webinar specifically for your Education USA offices, please reach out to us. And I want to stop the share and see about questions because we are over time. Try to finish this up in about 5 minutes. I think I do have a question as far as Kathleen in the intensive English language program. When the student gets that conditional acceptance to the academic program, they're still getting the full I-20 to the IELP, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We
Okay.
issue the I-20 for the English language study, and then there is a change of education level to at the academic program.
Okay, right. So you either get the full I-20 for the IELP, or your English is ready and you get the full I-20 for the academic program. Okay. And then the good news, I guess, for anyone from the community colleges is if you do your OPT after graduating with the associates, later when you graduate with the bachelor's, you still get the bachelor's level OPT. That's correct, right? Okay, good. So that's important. So you're not using up the bachelor's OPT by using OPT as you get the graduation from the associate's level. So you can do 2 years associates, do a year of OPT, and then get into a 4-year university and do your last 2 years and finish the bachelor's program, then get the bachelor's OPT. Got it. Let me go on to just 1 or 2 other questions because we are over time. So, and while I'm doing that, just to highlight, community colleges are a fantastic option, even for some really specific programs. You heard GCC has students doing their first 2 years at GCC, then getting into St. John Fisher University at Buffalo for the Doctor of Pharmacy. So they're doing their biology, chemistry, math, anatomy, physiology at Genesee Community College. And then after those 2 years, they're getting accepted into the Doctor of Pharmacy programs at Buffalo. I know MCC, it's if they do an AA in the optical systems technology, they can then get into the Bachelor of Science program in optics at University of Rochester, which can lead to eventually getting into the PhD program in optical engineering at University of Rochester, which is one of the 2 best schools in the country for optical engineering. So you can start at a community college and end up at an elite university in an elite program. And Abdul, do you have an example like that where students are doing their associates at Queensborough Community College and then getting into an elite program like that?
I want to say business with Baruch, NYU, Brooklyn, Columbia, because they are also AACSB credited. And that accreditation is Touro is also one of those credited schools as well. But the bigger one, the most interesting one is also nursing. Is the international students first qualifies for the nursing program, and then they're able to do the next 2 years with the guaranteed admissions, obviously meeting all the transfer requirement at Hunter College, CUNY York College. A lot of students also goes to Stony Brook University as well. Nothing as exciting as GCC, but students are still able to have a great mobility plan to be able to finish it up at a top tier medical or nursing, health and sciences school.
Okay. All right. Um, and let me try to close this out. I mean, Kathleen, do you have an example of an IELP student that just made it eventually into a really elite university or elite program?
Absolutely. We had a student who started in our language program, completed a bachelor's and master's at University at Albany, and then went on to complete a PhD at Columbia University. We've actually had two students who have done that.
Okay. I guess for everyone, we can wrap it up, but just if you can each say a few words of how you are working with students or working with Education USA offices when somebody says, I want to get an associate's degree at your community college to then transfer on to this specific university that you have an articulation agreement with or that you know. How does that work in the admissions advising section? Are you bringing in the 4-year admissions advisor?
I can speak that a little bit at GCC. So yeah, so if a student is accepted into one of our agreement pathways, they are coded in our system, so we know who you are. And we bring in a resident advisor from the 4-year school who will meet one-on-one, and they work within our transfer coordinator, or transfer service offices too. She's highly involved to make sure that you're taking the right classes at GCC so that you can seamlessly transfer.
And I think I saw we did a earlier webinar in GCC and MCC were on that I think MCC students that might be doing the optics program, the optical systems technology, they might even be having one course at University of Rochester while they're a freshman at MCC. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have opportunities for what do they call it?
Probably like a
Uh,
cross
Yeah,
registration.
there are opportunities for cross registration at other local universities. We're part of a Rochester area colleges consortium, so and also the SUNY consortium. So as long as the student is registered full time at MCC, if they want to take a class at another school within SUNY or even a private school within the Rochester area, they can take that and MCC covers their tuition for it. So that's a great opportunity.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. So still paying
Hmm.
the community college tuition.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
it's built into their just regular full-time rate.
Okay. All right. And then Abdul, anything to add? And then any last words before we sign off?
No, I think we covered it all. Study New York as a destination is a great destination, combination of all the CUNYs, SUNYs, communities, and privates. We all work together, so it's not that you're us versus them. I think together, students can have a great journey. And I am here, Jim is here, and I'm sure everybody on this call, Kathleen, Carly, and Jenny, we're all here to be an assistance to everybody that's looking to explore New York City, New York State as a destination. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Uh, I see Education USA as attendees. If you are there, Education USA, if you'd like to raise your hand, we can even allow you to talk if you'd like to ask a question out loud. We will send you the recording. So thank you to the attendees for joining. Thank you to our panelists, of course. Fantastic session. We will get the recording out to the attendees. This is Study New York. It is 2026, and we look forward to welcoming your students to New York State. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.